Cooper Flagg of Duke, the clear best player in college basketball right now, the clear number one pick in the NBA right now, has not declared that he's actually going to go in the NBA draft. A lot of talk of if he's going to stay at Duke and run it back, or if he should fulfill his destiny in a sense and move on to the NBA. Steve, not often we see someone of Cooper Flagg's talent debating on whether he wants to be drafted or stay at his college. What do you think Cooper should do, and how's it going to affect his future?
Well, as you know, being a Duke fan as well, it pains me to say this, but Cooper Flagg should go to the NFL. And I know that this might not be completely about the money, but the math don't math if he thinks he's going to stay at Cameron Indoor. Players of Cooper Flagg's caliber have never we've never seen somebody like that in a position like this. We've seen Harrison Barnes return to North Carolina to avoid, the NBA's looming work stoppage. We've seen Al Horford and Joakim Noah come back to Florida to try and chase back-to-back championships, but those are the only guys we've ever really seen that were being talked about a lot as first-round draft picks that chose to stay in college. But what speaks more to Cooper Flagg's decision is Yahoo Sports is currently estimating that a Cooper Flagg NIL deal is going to look somewhere around the $6 to $8 million if he does return to Duke next season. But Kenny Smith was talking with Yahoo Sports as well about what would it look like for a Cooper Flagg rookie contract in the NBA. His first year, he'd make around $13 million. His second year, he'd make around 14, 15 in his third, and up to $21 million in his fourth year, depending on the length of contract that Cooper Flagg would sign. Cooper Flagg returning to Duke, one, proposes a lot of risk for injury because, as we've seen from players previously, it only takes one play and your entire career could be altered. Go make your bag, young man. Go to the league, secure that generational wealth, and then now you have the opportunity to do what everyone has been saying that you should be doing, which is being a superstar from day one. If that is truly what Cooper Flagg is, he should not risk coming back to Duke, injuring himself, and potentially ruining a rookie contract that could pay monumental amount of money to this kid.
I think ultimately he will go to the draft. Like you said, it's such an unprecedented move. This is clearly, it's been his dream since I imagine he was a kid. It is clearly going to be like from a literal person on earth standpoint, this is going to be his job. So it makes sense that you want to get a start on that and get money as soon as possible. But I truly believe that this is not an easy decision for Cooper Flagg. And while I do think he will choose the draft, it might be 50-50 still at this point. Cooper Flagg, I think, speaks to a lot of what his mindset with this, I think speaks to a lot of other people in his generation of block out the noise. It's not about what everyone else wants you to do or what you should do, because there's never a right answer to anything. I think he truly feels a connection and a passion for Cameron Indoor and the Crazies, which I'm sure other college players throughout history have felt that same way about their schools and their fans. But when you look at any pictures of Cooper Flagg, every single one, he's yelling, screaming, he's flexing, he's making a face. It's full of emotion. Cooper Flagg, much like Kevin Durant, I don't think cares about anything else but the game of basketball. I think Cooper Flagg, and we have seen this actually with Duke alumni specifically, when they first get to the league and they talk about what it was like at Duke, how that helped their career, they always say how it's a family and it is like this deep inner pride feeling that you can't really get or explain from anywhere else. And while this is obviously a major life decision, I think Cooper Flagg is not looking at it as you have to get drafted and fulfill your destiny now, or you're going to lose out on this massive opportunity. Because the number one argument for anyone to not stay back a second year in college is what you had mentioned, Steve. You then risk injury and your entire career is gone in an instant. Even if he did get injured, he would work, fight, and tough his way out into getting back to the form that he was. It is not uncommon to sign NBA players who have injury issues. We have clearly seen throughout history Kyrie Irving, Paul George, John Wall, Joel Embiid, Bradley Beal. Teams are clearly okay with signing big contracts and big money to guys that have had an injured past. Now, Cooper Flagg does not have an injured past if this hypothetical injury does come to be. And because of his stock and because of his energy and his passion, I think teams, like I said, will feel, even if he is hurt, number one, how are you still passing up on Cooper Flagg? Number two, we can get him back to what he was because he wants to be here. Like, look at like Shadur Sanders or even like an Eli Manning who has been like, I'm not playing for this team. You won't draft me. I'll stay. I will make sure I get what I want. No, obviously, I don't think anyone is saying that about Cooper Flagg. I don't think Cooper Flagg is sitting and going, man, I am not getting drafted if I have to play for the Hornets. I think if he doesn't get drafted, that is obviously going to work. Like, teams are going to go, man, Coop's sitting out because he doesn't want to play for us. We don't want him anyway. You know, if he don't want us, we don't want him. That's not the case. I don't think anybody thinks that with Cooper Flagg. It is they truly believe Cooper Flagg just really loves playing at Duke, has a true connection with these fans and that team, and wants to be a part of it. So as an NBA GM in a franchise, I'm seeing this. I'm going, wow, the clear and away best player I could have be mine. If I can get him to buy into me like I can, like he did with Duke, imagine what I can do with my team. So, Steve, I do think, like I said, ultimately he will go to the NBA draft. But I think it is totally reasonable, and I would not judge him or look at him at all any differently if he said, yeah, you know what? I really love it here. I feel a true connection with these fans. It's not life in general, no matter whether you're a professional athlete or what, is not always about I got to do business or I got to do what everyone wants me to do or I have to do what is necessarily the right thing to do. It's what's right to you. It's your life. It is what you want to make of it. If Cooper Flagg wants his story to be, I cared about Duke so much and I felt such a connection that I wanted to stay here, and that is a part of my basketball story, good on him. Good for him for being able to differentiate what he should do, and what he wants to do.
You know, that's very well said. And obviously, Cooper Flagg's got a tough decision to make here, right? Cooper Flagg's game is very aggressive, very attack oriented. It is very he affects all aspects of the game. He leads Duke in every major statistic. An injury where I agree with you, I think his passion would help him fight back. There's the concern of, can he ever return to the level of aggression and peak that we saw him? So you're right. It's one of those that Cooper Kupp is going to make millions regardless of where he goes. So it's going to come down to, does he value the connection to Cameron Indoor? I agree with that. Does he value that more? Or does he want to go and secure what will probably still be there for him even if he returns to Duke? Listen to the sound. I listen to the sound.